Welcome to Worldchefs podcast. I'm your host Ragnar, and you're listening to World on a Plate. Cooking competitions are a big part of Worldchefs history, and I can say it's a part of our DNA. When Worldchef was founded back in 1928 with Auguste Escoffier as president, it was an occasion to unite chefs from around the world to meet and compete, basically. And so ever since, it's been a form of exchange and creating bonds between our members around the world. So, well, I want to welcome on this podcast, talk more about competitions and judging and such, Anne Brown, who recently was appointed member of the Worldchefs Culinary Competition Committee. So, Anne, welcome on the show.
Welcome, Ragnar. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. That's good.
Thank you for being here, Anne. And so, as some of you know, as the Marzipan Queen, you have been very active and respected Worldchef certified judge for many years now. And now with your new appointment in the Culinary Competition Committee, you will actually be able to define the future competition rules and standards. So it's exciting new task for you.
It is really, it's a real honor. It will be an education and give me a deeper insight to the competition and judging process. And I'm looking forward to that. Just to say also, I've been overwhelmed with emails of welcome and congratulations from the chefs. And I get to go to China in November, which is really exciting. And that's a competition for Shanghai International Culinary Cup. So that'll be really interesting.
Yeah. So I guess, it gives you opportunities to travel and learn and see more. But hey, before we start to go into, your future endeavors, maybe you can tell us and the audience more about your journey. What drove you into the culinary world in the beginning?
Oh, okay, well, that's a long story, but I'll try and make it as short as possible. Well, to be quite honest, I come from a family of girls, 5 girls, and my mum was a cook. And we often had days where we had to cook dinner and wash dishes, of course. But most of the time I used to help my mum cook, and I enjoyed making everything look nice as well. So that was something I enjoyed doing. Also, my mum, what happened to her, she wanted to go to Sugarcraft, but she wanted me to go with her. She didn't want to travel on her own. And what was really interesting there is obviously I was allowed to join in, and it was just, I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And it was like I took to it like a fish like water.
Right.
To water. The lecturer was so impressed. She talked about having me trained in Switzerland. However, I was only 14, so my mum was, no way, I wasn't going there. I was too young, so that was out of the question. But it gave me a real taste for the art of pastry.
Right. So you got the bug from very early on, and you did your training in the UK then in the end. But how did your passion for competition start? Because that's a bit of a different level, right?
Yeah, well, what happened is I moved up to Scotland in 85, and I decided to go and study pastry. I'd already done my college work in Liverpool, where I'm originally from. And I found out about the Scot Hot competition. And someone said to me, why don't you just enter it? So that's what I did. So my first competition was in Glasgow in a place called Scot Hot, or a competition called Scot Hot in 93. And I won 2 gold medals and a table of honour. And then because of that, I was invited to join the Scottish culinary team. And the Scottish culinary team were off to Singapore the next year in 94. And they wanted me to back them up and also enter a pastry competition. Okay. And with this one, I won a gold medal with distinction and the most outstanding pastry chef award. So I did really well at the beginning, and obviously I had to work really hard to keep hold of that, so every year I tried my best to get that colour medal, gold medal, so to speak. I was in a hot kitchen in London, and the team wanted me to produce a hot dessert, and everybody will know, every pastry chef will know that a hot dessert actually is fairly easy to actually to make, but to actually come up with something that's different as a hot dessert. It's really hard. It's really difficult. So anyway, I wanted to be creative, and I decided that I'm going to put pastry here with souffle, and that's what I did. And but what happened was I had to come up with a pastry that would be light, hold its shape, and basically be sort of like crumble, melt in your mouth because of the lightness of the souffle. And I was playing about with my pastry to try and get this, and eventually I got it. I was really chuffed. Put down the recipe into my little black book, and I said, right, I'll leave that for a week. And then what happened, I came back after the week to recreate it, and it didn't work. What happened is I was looking for a cylinder that was smooth and thin, and it didn't work. And I thought, what has gone wrong? I followed the recipe. This was 4 o'clock in the morning by this time. I ended up getting my partner up to come and talk to me to see if I could remember where I've gone wrong. And he's asking me these questions, did you do? And I'm saying, no, I've done that. And then I looked at my little black book again. I'm looking at the recipe. And then I realized I'd just put 1 egg instead of 1 egg yolk. And because of the proteins in the egg whites, that was distorting the pastry. So that was the problem. I needed it to be standing up like a smooth cylinder. So that was that. So in the end, obviously, we went into the competition and we got a gold medal for that. So that was really good.
Yeah, I guess that you have some really like shaky moments where you have to keep your head cool. And talking to you, actually, it seems like it was a very natural thing for you to go into competition. It was like, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah,
It wasn't like
I think that's what it was like.
Actually, wasn't stressing too much about it, but like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've entered quite a lot of competitions now, and I've competed in many countries throughout the world. So it's been quite exciting, that part of it. And obviously, through doing that, it's made me, obviously, you look into the judging part of it, which I'd like to talk about a little bit further on.
That's right. But just before we move on to that, I just wanted to so I mean with young chefs listening to us might be thinking of going into competitions or not. Obviously, it's a lot of sacrifice, and as you just mentioned, scary moments, and you need to find the time and the means to train. Would you recommend? Why would you recommend young people to go out there and compete and put themselves in danger? What are they getting in return?
Well, I've got actually advice here. I've wrote down a little bit of advice for anybody really that wants to compete, not just young chefs, of course. But for me, if you've never been to a competition but you've heard of it, you really need to go and attend to a competition to get an idea of what's involved and to be inspired. Then the next step would be to give it a go. And if you don't exceed, don't give up, of course. Be patient and learn from your mistakes. And the main thing, which I always feel some chefs tend not to do, even the ones who are competing just now, is to read the schedule carefully. It's really important because it changes quite a lot because we're bringing it up to date all the time. So it's really important that the schedule is read properly because you lose marks. If you do a silly little mistake. You've got to remember that you've got 100 points, and the secret is to keep hold of them. The other thing is as well, when you compete, you don't worry too much about the colour of medal, if any. It's a learning process, and eventually the talent will come through. Sometimes we have to prepare to be disappointed. Really, you need to take a step back and remember that. And finally, no matter what colour of medal you receive, if any, gold, silver, bronze, you should always ask the judges for feedback on how you can improve for the next time. And don't forget, the judges see everything. They've been there, seen it, done it. Yeah. So that would be my advice to anybody wanting to compete. Yeah.
So you would say it's a sort of an accelerator of learning. You in sort of in a short period of time, you're gonna be exposed to a lot of new things and situations that you're gonna have to manage. So it boosts your learning. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah. And don't forget, there's new trends, and you should always be online looking for that. Even on things like YouTube, there's things going on there that can give you a lot of information.
Yeah. So at what time did you then think that you want to move over to the other side, to the dark side of the
Oh, right. Okay, that happened. That really, it is a bit dark. That happened kind of accidentally, to be quite honest. I never really thought to be an international judge, so to speak, a certified judge. I'd been judging from the year 2000 in the UK, sugar craft competitions in Birmingham, London, and it's got hot at the competition I first entered. And basically what happened was I'd entered a Victorian kitchen. It was a marzipan piece. And I got a call from a friend who'd said, your Victorian centerpiece is in the Sweet Art magazine, and they're asking who it was that had created it. So he said, do you want me to pass on your details? And I said, yeah, go for it, you know. So the next thing you know is shortly after that, I got contacted by a Robert Oppender. I don't know if I'm saying his surname properly, but Robert contacted me and asked me would I like to come over to Germany to the Culinary Olympics. And so what happened then, when I got over there, we had a pastry judges meeting, 10 or 12 chefs. It was so enlightening. It was an honor to be in the company of such passionate chefs with regard to the art of pastry. And they talked my language. I thought I'd be totally out of it, but no, it was really good. I really enjoyed that experience. So from there, I attended a seminar, which was delivered by Gilles Renousson. And basically, when I went to that, I was kind of, what's it going to be about, you know? And when I got there, it was amazing. Gilles was full of energy, passion, and so much knowledge. It was amazing. Kenny Kong was there, and he was also given his experiences. Very exciting. And when I come out, it just felt great when I come out of that seminar. And basically, that's where it all started in the year 2008 in Erfurt. That's when I became a certified judge.
Really, so is that group of, you know, being amongst peers and being in this room where everybody is sort of sharing the same passion and the same enthusiasm is sort of what is making your blood boil, in a sense, like making.
Yeah. I think what it was I just thought I was all alone, if you know what I mean. You feel like I'm the only one who's crazy about pastry, you know.
Right. So it's like a confirmation that you're not alone.
Yeah. So, but anyway, from there I've judged many things. Anyway, I've done judging. I mean, obviously it's the pastry side of things, and I've judged the showpieces, centerpieces, petit fours, desserts. I've judged the team hot kitchen, the cold table, and recently in Abu Dhabi I judged the Global Pastry Chef Challenge. And that was the finals, and I really enjoyed that. That was really exciting. It was fast. You had to judge really quickly. Yeah, that was really exciting.
Taking a step back, you know, I don't know what you thought when you were competing. I don't know what you thought of the people sometime judging you. Would you sometimes feel injustice at times and frustrated with the judges? And or yes?
Yeah, I would say that there was one occasion that was at home here in Scotland, in the Scotland competition, and I created Icarus, and I'd done it in marzipan. And as you know, if you know Icarus, he fell. He went too close to the sun. Obviously he's got wings, and he fell. So I did these wings out of marzipan, and the judges said to me they didn't think it was the right medium. But to actually make those feathers out of marzipan, it was soul destroying, to be quite honest. It was so hard, you know. And at the end of that, you know, you're not happy with the results of that because you've put it into a marzipan competition, but they're reckoning it's not the medium you should have been in. I took a step back, and obviously I've learned from that. And I can see where they're coming from now, but at the time, no way. No.
Because that sort of leads me up to the next question. So now you're the one giving feedback, you're judging, you're criticizing. So how has that experience been to be on the other side? And you know, are you feeling frustration when you're talking to people and they do not get what you're saying? Or
Yeah, I think sometimes there is a language barrier, but normally we've got somebody in the team that can communicate as well. So that's really good. But giving feedback, I love the fact that when they come up to you and they ask you, even if they've got a gold medal, it's really important that they do that. Yeah, and I love giving the feedback when it's people who are upset. By the time you've finished explaining where they've gone wrong, you've pointed out all these things that they've done, basically, and you know you've explained it in detail. Sometimes you have to do it more than once, but anyway, they seem to, right, okay, that's fine. And I said, just come back and show me what you can do. You know, listen to what I've said, do another piece in the same medium if that's what you want to do, and come back and show me what you can do. And that's basically what I say, you know, to try and encourage them to not lose hope, sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
I mean, what for you are the most important qualities you need to be a good judge? Because I mean, you can be a good chef and not a good judge, or you could be a good teacher and not a good chef. I don't know, is it? But to be a good judge, what else is there? Like, it's not enough just to be a great chef and.
Yeah. Well, but first of all, I suppose I'll be talking to rookie judges. I think this is important, and anybody who's thinking of going to start being a rookie judge. First of all, potential judges need to know and understand what it's like to be a competitor.
Right.
This is the experience on many occasions of sleepless nights, little to eat, or even time for it can prove to be beneficial, and sometimes also prove invaluable when it comes to judging someone's work. I'd like to say that if you are a rookie judge, please, you must try and get yourself into the international competitions to be a rookie judge at least twice. Yeah. And also maybe take part in giving feedback to an unhappy competitor.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's really important to know that you can actually, you know your stuff and you know the medium, and you can give the competitor some advice. That would be really good. And like I say, judging can be very complex. It depends on what it is that's being judged. For example, you must understand the medium and how it works. So what I'm saying there is, if you are going to judge, for example, showpieces, you really need to have had your hands on for maybe chocolate, sugar, marzipan, pastelage, even vegetable carving. I'll tell you a funny thing that I did. I've actually carved out of snow. My little boy at the time, he loved these Teenage Mutant Turtles. And basically what I did was I made a big snowman. And I said, right, I'm going to get that carving knife. Got a carving knife. And I chopped away at this snowman as quick as you could possibly do it. And there it was, D'Artagnan. I don't know if you know Teenage Mutant Turtles, right? But they live underground in the sewers. And this one was popping up, waist high, popping up with D'Artagnan. You know, he's got his D on the front of his shield. So that was really exciting. I really enjoyed that, by the way. I should recommend it to anybody to have a little go with that. So anyway, so understanding the medium and how it works. If you're, for example, me being marzipan queen, we'll talk about marzipan. So say with marzipan, you have to manipulate it to bring out the oil. So you've got a really smooth finish and a lovely shine on it. And basically, if you're judging a marzipan piece and you see cracks on it, you should know why those cracks are there. It's not because it just happens, maybe in transit or whatever, but it's because they haven't manipulated it properly. It's simple little things like that, and everyone should try and do a hands-on on the mediums that they're going to be judging. Yeah, for me, a judge has to be honest and impartial, and just to remember, like I said, you've been there, seen it, done it. So remember that, you know. And my last word on this would be that, in principle, I feel one needs to earn the right to be given the opportunity to judge another's work, another competitor's work. It's really important. They really need to stand back and admire the fact that these people I've actually made this piece for you to judge, when you think about it.
Yeah.
And you have got to appreciate that. So honesty and being impartial is really important.
A lot of humility there. I mean, from what your very last statement, I haven't thought before. A lot of humility as a judge, not this sort of step up there with arrogance, but the humility of like you're actually judging somebody else's sweat, blood, and tears.
And like I say, you should, if you're judging a category, you should know all the mediums, all the trials and tribulations of each medium. There's good things that happen, there's bad things that happen. And yeah, definitely. I mean, just going back to a young chef that came to me, she's 16. She was 16 and she made this beautiful wedding cake. It was just absolutely amazing. To me, it was 100 points. It was a goal with distinction. It was amazing. And she came to me and she said, how can I improve? How can I improve on that? There wasn't a flaw in it, not a flaw in it. It was just amazing. And that's what I love. I love when people come up, even though they've got this gold medal, to come up and speak to us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went back to that because it's so important.
No. No, like, thank you very much for sharing that. And hey, so are there like good judges and bad judges? Have you ever like witnessed? I mean, we're always striving to create as fair and highest quality judging for competitions ever, and so we can only learn from what we see around us. And now you're in the position of having to be that person to set the standards. Other things that annoy you see with other colleagues, peers. No names, but I'm just
of course.
Not to do.
No, like I said, I think it takes me back to what I've just said about knowing the medium that they're judging.
Right.
And I think that is the important thing. For me, you shouldn't be judging something that you know really very little about. And I don't know whether that kind of happens, but in my circle, it's not happened. But at the end of the day, that's is important.
So maybe a good tip to any one of our rookie judges and new judges is that, like, if they come across something that they are not experts, they should have the humility to say so and say, well,
yes, definitely.
I'll step back. don't want to speak about something I don't know about.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. That's what you're there for. Rookie judge, you're there to learn. And it's okay that you might have not had as much experience as the chef that's talking to you, but at least you've learned something from it. And maybe you could go away and have a go at that medium and see what comes of it. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about rookie judges. And so maybe we can also just take the audience through if people are listening that, have been in competitions or not. How does one become a judge? How do we become a certified judge? There are different levels. Do you have them in mind?
Yeah, there is different levels. There is 4 different levels, to be quite honest with you. But to be quite honest, the best way to find out more about it, obviously, is to go onto the Worldchefs website.org. But the 4 categories are obviously you rookie judge. You need proof of your what would you call that, experience, and from there you can move on to a certified regional judge. That's obviously you're judging on a regional level, a home or wherever. And then you've got your certified continental judge, and then you've got your certified international judge. So there's 4 of them, but there's more detail about that online, and that's where you'd find, I mean, that website, the Worldchefs website, is amazing. It's got a lot of information. There's also the seminars that come up, and they'll give you dates, even from last year when they were, and up to this year and further on, in the future.
That's right. We'll make sure we put on the podcast page, we put a link to worldchefs.org, how to become a certified judge, and also on the competition seminars. The competition seminars that are they are mandatory to apply to become a judge, but not enough, because as you mentioned, there are other criteria as well that is all listed on the website of knowing your stuff. You have to show you know your stuff. You have competed. You master the language, and that you you have gained some experience, and the rookie, isn't it what rookie judge is about, is gaining experience. That's how we all learn.
Yeah. I've met some really nice rookie judges. They're so keen. It's good to see young rookie judges are so keen. It really is. And they're passionate about it. And you know what? You actually learn some things from the rookie judges as well, funny enough.
Yeah.
If they might have a medium that they're really proficient in, you've actually learned something off them, which is interesting.
Yeah, they bring new blood, and maybe they're most definitely younger than the older guys, and they might bring in new blood and new ideas. That's a really good point. Hey, on that, the importance of like being mentored and having somebody to work with, and training can go both ways, from old to the younger and the younger to the older. Do you have any? I mean, you've judged with many judges. Do you have any role model, someone that you learned a lot from, that you remember as a strong influence?
I'm laughing here because I just feel that obviously there was the meeting in Germany was really interesting. But for me, when you're an individual, obviously I was part of the team and I learned a lot from them. But when you're an individual, you're pretty much on your own, However, that's why I was saying to you that, they spoke my language, because I just thought I was on my own. And because of this, I would say that when I went to the seminar with Gilles Renaissance, he was just blew me away, because he just talked my language. He made sense to me. He was passionate about it. Yeah, I would say he'll probably, I don't know if he's listening to this, but he's probably laughing at the minute. But anyway, he made it for me. I think when I walked out of that seminar, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
But as for getting any ideas or anything, I've always done it myself. I've always done research myself. I do everything myself, to be quite honest. I've always been hands-on. I like to build furniture, I do all kinds of things. So yeah.
So where does the marzipan queen come from?
I think that was just pinned on me, because I was doing a lot in marzipan, quite a lot. I liked the medium. I've actually been in a gallery with my stuff, and I did a cello player, and that was a mixture of marzipan and pastelage. So that was really good. But that's how it came about. It's just, I think they've seen quite a few pieces in marzipan, and the marzipan queen came about.
Yeah. Hey, just sort of, I must say, I personally, I really enjoy following the judges, and I'm so admirable about the work you do. I mean, I go to events and I meet a lot of the the same people that are dedicating so much time in from their own family life or work life to judge, and it requires a lot of time. And I guess for some people, it sounds like a vacation. Oh, you're going to eat food for a weekend, but I know it can be very physically challenging, right?
Yeah.
What is driving you really to you still have that hunger? Is it to learn more?
Definitely. It's I don't know. It's just I suppose that let's be honest, when we all get together, it's like a big family. Yeah. And you're meeting people from all over the world, and they're doing the same as you, and we can talk, like I said to you, the same language. It's really, really good. But I think also the competitors make it for you. You've got people that will come up and get the feedback. That's really good. That's really interesting. It's just, the whole thing is so exciting, and like I say, you're learning all the time.
Yeah. No, so I guess it's somewhere in between of you're draining energy, but you when you go back home, you actually sort of is an energy booster at the same time. It's a high and a low, and you can wake up again.
I think I was in Dubai recently, and there was no one to cover my class on the Friday. So what happened was got home on the Thursday, and then the next day I was in class. And I had to pinch myself. Hold on a minute. I've just been in Dubai and here I am in class. That was a strange one. Because normally, we've been able to cover the classes. But so that was a bit strange. But I was okay. I was fine. it is tiring, it is hard work, but it's just for the love of it. I mean, the art of pastry is close to my heart. It can be quite emotional when I see someone's work. It can move me. And in fact, art, irrespective of the medium or the form it comes in, it has the same effect on me. I just love to do this. Yeah, I'm addicted.
Anne Brown, thank you, the Marzipan Queen. Anne Marzipan, thank you very much for sharing all your passion and your inspiration with us. We are really glad to have you on board in the Culinary Committee, and from Worldchefs office, we are looking forward to working with you in years to come, I hope. So yeah, it's been great talking to you. I don't know if you have any last words you want to say.
Just keep at it, just keep on going. If you're a rookie judge, remember, at least twice international judges to be asked. Take everything on board the judges are talking about, showing you, listening, obviously, so that it makes you the better judge when it comes to it. As for the competitor, like I said, just put a lot into it, you know, do research. Yeah, just go for it and do the best you can.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Anne. Lovely to see you. And thank you, everybody, for listening. You've been listening to a Worldchef podcast. We've been talking to Anne Brown, who is a newly appointed member of the Worldchefs Culinary Competition Committee, about from becoming a pastry chef to a competitor, and then a culinary judge, and now a member of the committee that creates the future rules and standards. So and all the passion that goes into that is really fascinating to listen to. It's very inspiring. So thank you, Anne, again. Thank you all for listening. Thank you. And thank you all for listening. And well, see you next episode for something of great interest to you all. So take care.